I still don't believe he's talking about Keith. And if he is, let's talk about it. Because Keith Thurman has told me personally, I was in his gym and he's like, bro, where do they make Earl Spence at? Like, have you ever had a problem with a dude and didn't want to fight him? Like, what's wrong with him? And he's right. What the fuck is wrong with you? You got a problem with Keith. You think he corny. You think he a sucker. How many other shit has Earl tweeted? Why don't you fucking show us he a sucker and he corny and beat him? Wasn't he? He beat everybody you beat before you.
Yeah, but...
No, he did it first.
Listen.
You fought Danny, he beat Danny. You beat Sean, he beat him first. Oh, you the #1 welterweight? They called him that first. You only there because he got hurt. Let's just be real. Give that man a shot.
Now, we gonna keep it all the way 100 with this. Now, as far as what Ness is talking about, he's talking about that Errol Spence diva attitude. That's one thing that I don't like about Errol Spence. He act like he was high up there before he actually proved that he was high up there. Acting like he better than everybody and this, that, and the third, and everybody got to do this. He ain't got to entertain nothing. I'm sitting on the top of the hill, blase split, this, that, and the third. I don't like that crap about Errol Spence. Now, to keep this 100 and thoroughly, I'm going to comb through this thoroughly. So ain't nobody that's a fanboy or a detractor, y'all not going to be able to say shit because I'm going to cover every corner. All right. Now, truth be told, Keith Thurman bitching about he not getting a shot. How you gonna have a problem with me and yet you don't want to fight me? Well, that's Errol Spence for you. But anyways, to be truthful, when Keith was in that position, he did the same exact thing to Errol. He did the same exact thing. Now, this is something that I want the Aerosexuals to listen to. When Keith Thurman was acting like that, wasn't we all flaming Keith Thurman? Weren't we all pissed at Keith Thurman? Didn't we all say Keith Thurman need to stop clogging up the division and do something and fight somebody? So that just goes to show, when Keith Thurman was acting like what Errol Spence is acting like right now, we flamed his ass. Okay? Now that Errol Spence is acting like Keith Thurman, we giving him the same work that we gave Keith Thurman, but all of a sudden it's wrong. Somebody's hating. Don't talk about Errol. Leave him alone. When it's that type of attitude and it's that type of actions, which is the reason why we don't get the fights that we want, because that's what we was complaining about. We wanted to see the best versus the best. Y'all thought it was Errol Spence at the time, but the whole world was saying Keith Thurman. Let's put him in the ring and find out. But Keith Thurman wasn't trying to get that boy a shot. We all know that. You know, and I didn't appreciate that. Just like I don't appreciate now that Errol Spence is in the position that Keith Thurman is in. What is he doing? He's acting just like Keith Thurman. So why can't we give him the same work that we gave Keith Thurman is what I want to know. Why is it so biased? Why is it so wrong? Why does it have to be considered hating when it comes to Errol? Errol is doing the exact same thing Keith Thurman is doing. The exact. And when Keith Thurman did it, we had something to say about it. Because we all recognized when Keith was doing it, that wasn't good for boxing. Let progress go down. You know what I'm saying? Let's move this shit forward. Don't clog the division up. Fight somebody. Give him his shot. All right. Now, with that being said, now that the tables have turned, it's no mystery that Errol Spence is doing the same thing to Keith Thurman. And Errol Spence don't want to fight Keith Thurman. They're forcing him. I think we all know that by now. Okay. But for Keith Thurman to complain about that is very hypocritical. Because when he was in the position of Errol, how did he treat Errol? He wasn't trying to give him a shot. He was doing the same type of diva antics that Errol doing right now. So truthfully, Keith Thurman ain't got a leg to stand on, but this is the problem. We wasn't expecting when Errol Spence got in the position of Keith Thurman for him to act like Keith Thurman, because that only messes up the game. Okay? When you got in a position of Keith Thurman, you was supposed to do the opposite of what he was supposed to do. Be the example of what he was supposed to do when he was in your position that you are currently in right now. But you didn't do that. What did you do? You followed right in Keith Thurman's footsteps. Now The same thing that Keith Thurman did to you when you were trying to get a fight with him, it's the same thing that you doing to Terrence Bud Crawford. And you can't lie and say it's not true. All right? Because even though you had these aerosexuals that want to go around screaming, oh, he's ducking. They don't believe that shit. You know how they don't believe that shit? Because when it was very clear that Terrence Bud Crawford was pursuing Errol Spence, what did they say? I remember what y'all said. I remember clear as day. Y'all told him to go fight Boots. No. Go fight Sean Porter. Hold on. Now, these are the same people. If Terrence Crawford puts out a tweet on Twitter, they gang stomping him. All up in there. Oh, why are you ducking Errol? You need to stop ducking. You need to stop ducking this. But pause for a minute. These are the same people when it was very clear that Terrence Bud Crawford was pursuing Errol Spence. They told him to go fight a Boots Ennis. And this is the thing about Boots Ennis. Boots Ennis is a good fighter. But if he was to fight Boots Ennis, y'all would still say the same thing that y'all saying about David Avanesian. Okay? Boots haven't beat anybody for Terrence Bud Crawford to get the credit off of. You guys are going to pull out the same story. So you wanted him to go fight somebody who hasn't fought anybody. That doesn't make no sense. Then you asked him to go fight Sean Porter. Then he fought Sean Porter, and then it wasn't good enough. Then he's old. Then he's dead. Then he's burnt out. Then his dad threw in the towel. He quit. It was a fixed fight. That's what y'all do. But just keep in mind, the same people that's hollering ducking was the same people hollering, go fight this guy and go fight that guy. You want to know what I never heard? I've never heard nobody that's supporter of Terrence Bud Crawford talking about when you guys are like, oh well, we want to see Errol fight Terrence Crawford. Oh well, Errol Spence needs to go fight this guy. You know, I've never heard a Bud Crawford supporter say that or fan say that. Have you? I haven't. When you try to get a fight with Bud, we didn't direct you to somebody else, say go over there, no go over there, no go over there. That's what y'all have done this entire time. So that whole duck thing is cap, which in the end, you want to know the real problem with boxing at the end of the day? Boxing always been crooked. These promoters have always been what they have been. Boxing is a reflection of society. What happened is the mentality of men has changed into something very soft. Okay? Because the reason why they're able to do what they're able to do is because the promoter and the fighter knows my fan base don't care if I fight the best. They just want to cheer me on. So I can fight anybody and basically maintain my fan base. My fan base does not require me to fight the best. They just want me to be looked at as the best. As long as we got fans like that in boxing, boxing will never return to what it was. And I'm telling you right now that it's not going to return to what it was. Never. Okay? Because the quality of men that are born and produced in this country and in around the world has changed. We're not the same. See, men used to have standards. You know they ain't got standards. Because back when I was growing up, you didn't marry a hoe. These dudes marry hoes left and right. Nowadays, you used to get clowned for marrying, wifing, or making a hoe your girlfriend. Now it seems to be the main thing. That's why hoes is out here winning. Just that one example alone, you could tell that the quality of man is not the same anymore. It's just the quality of man is not the same no more. Guess what? Men don't hold men to standards. You know, character is not important to them no more. So therefore, it creates an atmosphere in which you can have the Canelos of the world or the Errol Spences of the world. Because truthfully, Errol Spence is another Canelo, but just more talented. His resume is a mirage. It's a mirage. Let's face it. All the dudes that he fight now, they're old. They're past their prime. They're burnouts. Let's face it. Now, keep in mind, I'm not blaming him. It's not his fault because you're born when you're born and you get in the game when you get in the game. But What he hasn't done is fight somebody prime, just like him. He needs to fight another him. Keith Thurman is not another him. Ugas is not another him. Chris Algier was not another him. Mikey Garcia is not another him. What do all these guys got in common? They're 1 foot out the door, and they've been had their time. Truthfully, the PBC welterweight roster is old. That's the truth. It's old. It's full of old fighters. Keith used to be the man. Keith used to be a hell of a fucking fighter. Used to be. He's nowhere near that. And nobody over there in the welterweight division at PBC is in their prime but Errol. Tell me I'm lying. That's it. So the only thing he can do to prove himself to me is fighting another prime him. This is the same thing I got tripped up with Canelo. Oh, Canelo fought this guy. Canelo fought, but they were all old. Miguel Cotto on down old. Age Triple G out old. Tried to fight an old Mayweather, didn't work. Old. Good names, but old. Already had their time in the sun. Just concerned with a check at this point in time. That's exactly what's going on. But as far as Keith Thurman go, and him bitching and complaining about him not getting a fight, you know what I'm saying? Well, when you were in that position, you did the same thing to Errol. So I would say it's only right for Errol to do it back to you, but the problem is that messes up boxing. This is why it's important to hold people to the same standard. But boxing fans don't require that no more. And truthfully, boxing fans are the main reason why we don't get the fights we want. Yeah, we talk about promoters and stuff like that, but promoters been promoters since promoting been promoting. That's nothing new. It's when the fans didn't allow you to do this. Your fan base didn't allow you to do that. Your fan base wanted you to fight the best. They wanted to see that. Now, these guys just want to cheer you on and pat you on the back. That's my thoughts on this. I'm out.